And since there are so many things, so again, I'm having moments in India business as well as international business. Okay, or since we are already on international business, let me tell you the one moment like when you can create a brand which is 1% of the total country's market in the first year itself. That is something you can't believe yourself sometimes.
Hello everyone, welcome in the episode 6 of 21 Minute Pharma Edge powered by Game of Pharma. And today we have with us a very special guest, Ashok Bhatia sir, who was former president of Zydus Lifesciences and now guest faculty of the great institutions of India like IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Rohtak, and also worked with some of the great consulting firms of India and world. So welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you, Lokesh. Pleasure to be with you.
Cool, sir. I think when we were on the call, right, I think few days ago, I was really shocked about your experience. Ki you were the part of early product management teams of India. I think I can't imagine in my head ki what was going there. So let's go through all of these things to this podcast, sir. So, sir, you started your journey as assistant chemist, right? And then become the president of emerging market at Zydus Life Sciences, sir. So how was the journey? What was the things? Just let us know, sir.
Sure. So long journey of roughly 48, 50 years. I don't think you can accommodate in your short podcast, but let me try to be as brief as possible. Uh, see, like most of us, people of my generation, we did not enter pharma world by design. We enter by default. Many of us would say that I wanted to be a doctor, could not clear my exams, and therefore became medical representative. Okay, but my case was very different. Okay, I was basically finished my BSc with physics and mathematics, so I never studied biology in my school or college. Okay, and I my next career plan was to be a teacher, actually to be a teacher in physics. So for that, his MSc was important, and there was a university coming up in my hometown, which was around 5 to 6 months late. So I thought maybe it will be more make economical sense as well as logistic sense if I stay at my hometown. So I tried to look for a job. And there was a small company in a place called Panipat. I come from Haryana. So there was a small company in Panipat. I just went there. I said, can I do something here? I didn't know anything about the job, anything about the pharma industry. So they said, "Ab kya karoge?" I said, I don't know. Ab jo bolenge wo karunga. Idea was to skill 5 months. And then they asked me to, okay, you help this chemist. There was a British chemist called Dr. Frank Morgan. So this excitement of working with a foreigner was very much. I said, "Theek hai." So I didn't ask my salary, didn't ask anything because idea I told you was different. So I started working there and started learning the basics. Or to be very honest, it was more like a lab assistant to start with. Okay, I used to clean the machines. I used to, line up the workers. All those things I used to do. And then in the bargain, I also learned how to make tablets, how to make capsules, how to make medicine, etc. I was enjoying it. But one of these days, I found some smart boy like you with tie and all and coming on a Rajdut motorcycle. I said, who is this guy? He said, he's a medical representative. So I said, what do they do? I mean, it was just few early days. I said, what do they do? They will go and sell the medicine which you produce or which we produce. So then I asked my then sales manager, I said, can I also become a medical representative? So he somehow very reluctantly said, no, probably you have to be much more smarter. I'm not sharab pite ho, na cigarette pite ho, kind of a thing. So you can be salesman has to be smart. I said, okay. So I just rested. And then one of the days I asked a young MD, I said, sir, why one has to do all those things to be a medical representative? I mean, I want to understand. He said, who said that? No, I couldn't tell him that who said that. So I said, just मैंने सुना है कहीं से. So then he said, क्यों पूछ रहे हैं? I said, I also want to be a medical rep. And then next week he comes and tells me, will you go to Punjab, Patiala? I said, yeah, I will. And that's how my journey of a medical rep started. And he gave me the bag and no training. And I just picked up my bag and went to Patiala and started working as a medical representative. And as luck would have it, I started enjoying that job. And in the first 3 months, there was a competition. I will not go into details of that. I was the only one in that team of around 25 medical reps who won that competition and got an increment of 100 rupees in those days over a base of 250 rupees. And after some time, as it happens, you want to go in a better company because those multinationals were very much in vogue. So my then kind of first kind of aim became to join a multinational, and it happened. I joined a company called Indian Sharing, which later on was called Nicholas and now is a part of Abbott. So 4 years I worked as a medical rep in that company. And then the next step by default is that you become a manager. And it was in those days not possible to become a manager in a multinational because they were not expanding. So Indian companies were coming up, and there was company, this Cadila was a small company, but emerging company, I would say. And I saw a small classified ad one of the days, and I tried, and I got selected. Okay, and left my hometown and went to a place called Agra. 3 years worked in Agra. And then those days, the product management teams were emerging. I think Glaxo and one or two more companies had this product management team. Some people from Glaxo joined Cadila and they wanted to build up a PMT, as it was called in those days in Cadila. And I was very fortunate to be one of the first four area managers getting selected as deputy product managers. So came to Ahmedabad, and ever since I'm in Ahmedabad. 37 years in one company. Then I was one of the three presidents for India formulation business. And then I was shifted to international business as president emerging markets in 2010. So last 7 years of my tenure with Zydus, by this time this was Zydus, was in the international market. Post which I took my retirement, and then I got into consultation, as you said, and I was attached to McKinsey for 3 years, attached to Chris Capital and KKR, etc. Helped them in M&A, so that was very exciting period. And then another opportunity came my way through Carlyle Group for a CEO position in Uganda, where I was served 3 years. And now I'm back, and once again into consulting, and people already started connecting with me, and I already signed some assignments. So I think this is long and short of my journey.
Great, sir. I think, yeah, you rightly said कि अगर ये करने लगते तो I think that will be a 48, 68 hours of the podcast that can be go, sir.
Yeah.
Right, sir. So I think lot of questions from your journey. So let's start from the initial period, okay? So I can't imagine a medical representative 48 years ago, okay, without any digital tools, without CRM, without, I think I don't know about the brochures and all of the things like. So what were that challenges, sir, and how that time they overcome that challenges?
Okay, I think now see if you start counting challenges, there could be many. Okay, but then one finds way out, and one of the challenge, of course, which was very tangible, which today you guys are very, very privileged, and I'm fortunate that I've seen that journey from almost zero to maybe nearly 99, I would say, because I'm still hoping something new will happen in communication. The major challenge was communication. Okay, I will even tell you as a medical rep with a multinational company, in those days, since there were no computers, a lot of things used to be done on paperwork. And companies were very, very, I would say, even compared to today's time, very evolved from the angle that I would get my sales credit only for secondary sale, not for primary sale, which means I need to collect invoices from my stockist every month on the midnight of 31st or next day morning, and then send to along with the kind of a summary, which are town wise, product wise sale to my bosses, and that sale only I will get. If I miss something, I miss that sale. So you can imagine, the precision at the same time the effort. Now in this case, some sales would go to other territory also, like I was in Haryana, Rohtak, and from Rohtak sale would happen in Ambala territory. There were only three medical reps at that time, or two of us. And his territory come to my territory. Okay, nowadays it's called exfiltration or infiltration. But in those days, if I don't have invoice of my area, I don't get that sale. So we had an arrangement amongst each other that I would send those invoices of his area and he would send of mine. And believe me, how would we send that? Because time was of the essence. We would have a bus service in those days going from, say, Rohtak to Ambala and Ambala to Rohtak, request the driver to hand over the cover to that guy. And we had a fixed bus time departure, fixed bus time arrival. So we would collect that cover. Okay. And likewise, we would be able to, factor that sale in. So that was one example, how would we manage? You had to find out innovative ways of doing it.
Great, sir. I think आज today these companies are recognizing because of you. Like you made that effort to go to four or five
Many
more
like
doctors.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Many like you. Yeah. So, sir, as like we were in discussing in last conversation that you were the part of some of the emerging product management department of India, right? And when someone start a new department, right, there is no roles and responsibility, right? Or else you need to because it's always depends on the experiences, and then you make the changes little bit better. And now that department is like one of the cherishing department of the
Correct.
pharma thing. Like every young guy, because I was in the college, and then I think I must say that 60 to 70% my age people wants to go for product management or start their career from the product management. Okay, so how you guys have defined your own roles and responsibilities, and how it's emerging nowadays? Yeah.
No, very, very interesting. So first of all, in those days, we were lucky we didn't have competitors like you, who were MBAs and come from good colleges. So therefore, and companies had only one choice to pick up some people who had inclination and some kind of a track record from the field itself. So the first four product managers, they were handpicked from the market. And we were at that time area managers or frontline managers. And within a gap of 6 months each, so company could not afford four people at one time. So the first person came and said January, the next would come in July, the third would come in December, and the fourth it's likewise. So I was fourth one, in that row to come into this. By this time, these departments were establishing. In those days, there was no formal sales management, even formal HR management. Okay, distribution, of course, was there. Administration was also very, very, kind of a routine one. So basically, four of us had to first of all take charge of many, many functions. Kind of, we are the four people. We had one, of course, superior, who was more experienced in sales. Okay, but we took an accountability that if we had to set up the modern way of doing management, it is we. Uh, we had a training from some people who had come from GSK, Glaxo at that time, but they stayed for a shorter time and they left. Okay, and then it was left on four of us and our one boss. So therefore, we idea was to do a lot of things. Okay, and if you start dividing at that point in time from that context, then what happens? You're doing your role and you are not stepping out of your role. So things would not be done, and also there will be some kind of a competition which was not desired at that time. So we worked as a team. In fact, people would call us dream team or PMT team, or people would call us. Okay, so it was more of a team, and we would campaign to campaign. We would divide our accountabilities. Like, okay, this campaign, Ashok will look into the flip chart preparation. Somebody else will look into the logistic part of briefings. Somebody look into the designing of the packaging. So ऐसा करके करते थे, and then so that we all learn, we would rotate. Next campaign, probably somebody else will look into the flip chart preparation. Okay, and this is how we would rotate so that we would become, we'll learn everything. I won't say jack of all trades, but we will learn everything. And we become one team. So even if in the market, somebody would ask me, sir, whose idea is this during the briefings? We would by default not say it's my idea because it was not my idea, it was a team's idea. We would say it's a team's idea. I mean, who has kept this name, sir? It's a team has kept the name. So it was happened by default. So that also gave us a very smooth working and learning environment. So that's how the department evolved slowly and gradually. Then we felt the need of a sales manager, and the sales manager first came after we came in. You understand? So we modernized our administration department. There are a lot of stories around it, how we took them out of the typing and the copying and used the Xerox machine and all those things. Again, these are all evolution periods. And all of us use our creativity to do those things to save cost, at the same time save time, and be more responsive to the field.
That my like, so you were the part of, okay, emerging markets, and then I think at that time, okay, so now how this globalization or this expansion works, like someone see data, then there is a lot of technical person who go deeper into the data, find out the right disease market, then do their study, molecule study, lot of things involves, right? What was that time when no one, I think, if you are expanding into the African market, very limited knowledge were there, right? Or you else to go deeper into the books, deeper into the data manually, not automatically. You can just pivot table se lagaya and then you can get the data. How you find those market and like, yeah, I think, and then how you succeeded also. Like अभी वो नंबर बोलना इजी होता है कि इट्स नाइस इट्स a 100 CR brand, but I think from 0 to 1 journey or 10 journey was damn difficult compared to 10 to 100. So yeah, just tell me the
See, uh, analysis is very important. Data is very, very critical, but cannot deny. But the question is that what stage of your evolution you should depend on data. Okay, and if you're already doing well, you want to expand your market shares, you want to do something, it's okay. But in international markets, you are almost nothing. Like I said, there was a time when Indian companies were very, very small. At that time, if you look into data and all, this will be waste of time. You first have to establish your face, that, okay, you are a credible person. People should trust you. Okay, likewise, I might be a 10th largest company in India, but when I go to Africa or Brazil or South Africa or Taiwan for those markets, I am nothing. People don't know me. So this first realization has to happen that I have to get back into 80s or 90s of India, okay, to be successful there. That is step number one. So that so-called ego, I'm a president of such a large company in India, and no, it doesn't work. If I have to wait for a doctor for 3 hours, I should not hesitate doing that. Okay, if my representatives don't know, they don't know because they have never been told about it. So that patience is very important. That basic mindset change that I'm into a new market, and this new market is basically my brand is not established, my company is not established, so I have to start from the scratch like I did maybe 1980 in India. That's point number one. Point number two is you don't need to complicate too much. We only start studying data, then you start, complicating your job. The point is simple. India is, and now it might be, I don't know, you might be knowing data better. It could be 2% of the world market. Okay, in those days we used to say it's 1%. So when you are working 1% or 2% of the market and 99% of the market is there, so you need to just replicate your success stories from India to other markets. Okay, and things are not different. The pain happens same way everywhere. Okay, everywhere people need the help of a professional, whether it's a pharmacy or as a doctor. Okay, and the medicine treats the patient same way. So only thing is the difference could be the distribution channels, the difference could be prioritization. Okay, difference could be some regulatory issues, etc., etc. Those are smaller issues than the basic concept of selling pharmaceuticals. So what I did in particular, because I was fortunate to having established some brands in India through my teams and through my environment that I was there, I don't take credit to myself because I was fortunate to be in an environment which could build very good brands. And the mandate was simple. Ashok, now you are going to international markets, emerging markets. So I think we need to do something like that there. So with a very blind, kind of a thought, I did not know the basics of even international market. So I went and studied those possibilities that how can we do. First of all, the packaging itself was very different because whatever is available, you file in a market from any division. So you find that there are 20 kinds of packagings are there. So you make a uniform packing. Your people are known by the distributors' names, like they carry the logo of the distributor. Okay, so can you make them Zydus or Kerala? So that was that thing. So your company is established. When too much of visibility is there, jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. You understand? So those things were done. And then we started selecting small set of doctors. It was a push sale mostly. Okay, mostly commodity sales. We started selecting, okay, let's pick up few brands, some doctors and start detailing and start, all those things which we are doing in India and start doing that. If you do it something religiously with an objective to know and learn, things happen. Right. Okay, and then slowly and gradually we replicated Indian model in many markets, which called from conversion from B2B to B2C in today's parlance. Okay, and it happened, and then we found, and I was very lucky, that by the end of my tenure, I had a target of MDCs, $1 million club brands. Okay, from one or two brands in the beginning of my career, at the end there were 20 plus brands which crossed $1 million, even very small markets like Sri Lanka and Myanmar type places. So things can happen. Only thing is your vision should be very clear. More than the vision, your methodology should be basics. Should not be too much of to impress people. It's basically to communicate with the people and to get the things done. Yeah.
Right. Exciting journey, sir. I must say that like these many brands, not one or two brands of portfolio. I think it's an 10 plus brands that you uh, that gain the traction. So, sir, It's difficult, I must say, but can you just tell one defining moment, like uh, 48 of career, like 48 years of career, one defining moment that you must say, you feel that will be the catchy one. Yeah.
Since there are so many things, so again, I'm having moments in India business as well as international business. Okay, or since we are already on international business, let me tell you the one moment like when you can create a brand which is 1% of the total country's market in the first year itself. That is something you can't believe yourself sometimes. So it was in Myanmar where the total market was 200 million, and the first year, my team launched a brand which was $2 million in 11 months. Okay, so that was a moment, when the team, which you can say the total sale was say 5 billion, 4 billion. In that, one brand does 2 million, and that too a chronic brand, not an acute brand. Okay, a brand which was a new concept at that time. So that was a moment, I like, which really I can't forget that. And those things are difficult to replicate sometimes. So there's a lot of emotions and a lot of things which happen. Yeah.